man, the Jets, you can say that plane has landed. I don't even know if it ever took off. That jet ain't going. It might have just been stuck on the runway. This thing is all types of bad right now. When you look at what's going on with the offense, one of the things I've mentioned when we talked about—
Is it just the offense or the defense?
No, the defense, the team as a whole. One of the things I looked at—
all the way.
It is. I don't mind. We've talked about this before. You see it in any sport, especially like, for instance, you see it in the NBA with the LeBron-led team, right? You kind of mortgage everything. You say, we're going to do this. We're going to move coaches. We're going to go get some Rich Paul guys. We're going to do whatever we're going to do. We're going to mortgage our future with this player. That's what the Jets did with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm actually not mad at it. He's a Hall of Famer who has had an amazing career. They thought they were a guy away. So they took the risk. They took the calculator risk and said, we'll pretty much provide everything for him, and it just hasn't worked out. And now it's to the place where I'm glad that we're here so that we can move on, because after 10 weeks, the offense looks the same as it has with Zach Wilson, and they're literally 1 point more than when they had Zach Wilson. They haven't had any more yards. They have literally eight more yards than when they had Zach Wilson. They've went out and got Devontae Adams. That's not working. They've got Green Bay receivers. That's not working. They've changed coaches. It's not working. They've changed offensive coordinators. It's not working. They have gone down the entire checklist of what you can do to make this a better situation, and it has not worked. And so at this point, they have to start thinking about the future. What are we going to do moving forward? How can we press the reset button, like when you're losing to a kid and they all of a sudden snatch the cord out or hit the reset button on a video game console? It's that time for the Jets to go ahead and hit reset at the end of this season and figure out what's going to work. Because defensively, they're not great like they had been the last few years. Offensively, they're trash, which doesn't make sense. If on paper I told you all the players they have, you would think, oh, this team putting up points.
Oh, yeah,
they're not.
Offensive line is bad. They can't run the football.
They just look bad as a unit.
And Aaron Rodgers is coming off of a major injury.
But that all is excuses in the NFL.
No, but those are facts though. But it's just like, I'm just saying, if you don't have an offensive line, I don't care who's the quarterback. You got to protect the 40-year-old quarterback. You got to be able to run the ball so that you're not
invested in this 40-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, but you got to be able to do other things so that it works. If you don't protect them like they did in the first game ever, where he was hurried 3 out of the 4 snaps and he wound up getting hurt on one of the snaps, and if you don't have those things, I never thought this would work, but I understand why they did it.
No,
This is a franchise that has won a Super Bowl in 1969.
I literally just said, so I get why they mortgaged, but it's time to reset.
They're not going to reset until after the season is over. They got to see if there's any kind of salvaging and seeing if this progresses, because you can still draft a quarterback, but no one on the Jets or Jet fans are looking at they've drafted Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. They've drafted who's the other guy in Seattle? I'm just forgetting.
Geno Smith.
They've drafted like 9 quarterbacks. So you can sit here and go, well, they got to start all over again.
They do.
Go to that. But they're not going to until after the season is over.
I literally said at the end of the season, you yank the cord out, you press reset on the game console. You start over. And organizationally, you have to figure something out. What's our ethos? What do we believe in? They broke all their standards.
You got bad ownership. So
they're going to have to figure it out.
Just like the Lions didn't win for 50 years. Bad ownership.
Yep.
Bad GMs, right? You experienced it. You watched it. Some teams, if you don't have those people in place, it doesn't matter. You still do the same thing over and over.
But that's what I'm
win.
literally saying. They have to find the way to resetting and completely can change the ethos. That's what the Lions did. They finally got some better ownership. They finally got some better.
After 50 years.
Right.
Okay.
And the Jets ain't did nothing since 60 whatever.
But the Jets have won a Super Bowl. The Lions
and 60 whatever.
But the Lions have never been to a Super Bowl.
Why are you telling me what they did with Joe Namath, who is literally 80-something years old?
It doesn't matter, but I'm just saying.
It does matter.
One organization has never.
It can't only matter. You can't be selective mattering.
No. Do you know that the Lions are an original franchise?
Yes, and they're the only team that won it.
Okay.
But we're talking about the Jets, who have equally done nothing. They won it with Joe Namath, If that's what you're hanging your hat on,
It's
what are
not.
we doing this about?
But if you want to count,
what are we doing
there are
sports for?
3 teams that don't have a Super Bowl, and I'm just telling you, the Lions are one of them.
And who looks like they're way closer to winning one?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to
who
say.
Who looks like in the
you
current modern day?
No. But they haven't won, and my point is.
Who looks like they're set to win one for the next 5 years, at least compete for one?
You don't get what I'm saying to you, and what I'm saying is bad organizations, this stuff can happen for a long time.
I'm agreeing with you.
Because I saw it in Detroit. I saw them hire Matt Millen. I saw them do the same thing, draft the same wide receiver. I saw them hire dumb coaches and guys who were not good over and over and over. And I'm trying to say,
I'm confused on what you're saying because I'm agreeing. I'm saying the Lions finally got it right, and look at them finally having an ethos, a way about them, and now they're right.
What I'll never do is I'll never take away a team's. You could discount Joe Namath and them winning. That is one of the biggest Super Bowl wins by any team in any franchise because it was
beat?
The Baltimore Colts.
That's my point. It was so long ago. They're the Indianapolis Colts now. I don't want to hear about the Baltimore Colts.
But your history, what you don't know is that forced the merger between the AFL and the NFL. That's how earth-shattering it was.
I pray.
I'm just trying to tell you, don't discount it.
I hear you.
Don't discount it.
But I pray no one ever has to justify Kelvin's success by telling me something I did in 1960, whatever.
It's called context. It's called context.
No, that
you
is called.
You cannot discount it. That's what I'm telling you.
I absolutely can.
You're like, oh, I don't want to talk about a championship that they won.
You brought that up.
I don't want to talk about
You literally brought
up.
up.
Joe Namath is 80 years old. Joe Namath is 80 years old.
Let me know when you're done because you literally brought up Joe Namath.
Everything that's happened in the
NFL
with the Packers, none of that matters. Like in the early days of the NFL.
No, what I'm saying is we're trying to win.
Who's the trophy named after? Should we take Vince Lombardi?
We're trying to
win. Should we take
his
name off because he's dead?
You can keep bringing that up if you want to try to take away from the fact that Aaron Rodgers stinks. He absolutely stinks. You can bring up Joe Namath if you want. You can bring up Johnny Unitas.
That's just a crutch for you. I'm trying to give you some I'm trying to give you some education.
I don't need that. We all know that they beat Johnny Unitas and the Baltimore Colts.
I'm not going to let you discount a Super Bowl when your team has never won one.
I'm
you can
literally
stick out here
falling
with your
asleep
chest.
right now.
Stick your chest out and talk about the Lions. They haven't won. Last year they choked down in the NFC Championship game. They choked it down.
Can you rewind the tape?
They choked it down.
Because I didn't bring up the Lions. He did.
Yes, you did.
You brought up the Lions.
I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl from 1969.
Can you rewind the tape when he brought up the Lions? Can you bring up the tape when he told me about a 1960 whatever Super Bowl? I'm talking
it's
currently.
One of the biggest Super Bowl upsets in the history of this league.
Hey.
It is what forced the merger between the NFL and the AFL.
Let me know when you're done talking about the Civil War. Let me know when you're done talking about the Civil War. It is a part of our history.
You can be this Johnny come lately. What happened last week is the greatest thing.
How about
the
a little
Lions
lately?
haven't won anything, so stop.
Why did you bring up the Lions?
Because that's what you're talking about.
I didn't even bring up the Lions. Rob Parker, I literally didn't bring up the Lions.
I love these guys.
I'm so confused why you brought the Lions.
Oh, the Lions.
I literally brought up
the Lions won a game yesterday where they had 5 interceptions and the other team hasn't gone in the second half. They won the Super Bowl last night.
I promise you.
And I'm going to diss Joe Namath. I'm going to diss Joe Namath. No.
Johnny Cochran and Rob Parker when it comes to defensive tourneys. Because I brought up nothing about anything. All I simply said was the Jets' whole situation has been horrific, completely horrid, and they need to reset. That's all I said.
No, you didn't.
Correct me when I'm wrong.
You said Joe Namath is 80 years old.
After you brought him up, let me tell you who's not on my mind. Joe Namath. You brought up Joe Namath. They absolutely need to pull the plug, and it's okay. The Lions had to do it. You mentioned it. So many teams have had to do it. It's okay to have to reset. It's not a big deal. They'll be fine if they do that at some point and decide to move on.